Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and Tiggers are in fact wonderful things. In a world of CGI and all of these crazy advances in technology mixed in with the miracle of movie making, we kind of get lost and forget about all of the roots that got us to where we are today. And it is fortunate to know that this summer, probably one of the pioneers of animation, the pioneer of animation, decided that it was time to go back to its own roots that had been planted nearly over 100 years ago. And of course, that is Walt Disney's 51st animated classic, Winnie the Pooh. Now, of course, Winnie the Pooh is a landmark pop culture figure, but it has been so long since we've actually had something come out to remind, especially my generation and the generations before us, that it's time to grab and try and find that little bit of our childhood that has just been lost in life and growing up and dealing with so much hardship, trials and tribulations. A movie like Winnie the Pooh is definitely something that we needed. What I loved so much about this movie was, and by the way, I don't think I've ever seen a movie in which I have not stopped smiling from the very beginning to the very end. Winnie the Pooh is in fact a fantastic and beautiful tribute to animation in general, but more importantly to innocence and to childhood. The positives about this movie: one, the fact that it actually stuck with the classic 2D pencil and ink cell animation rather than going with a whole new generation style of CGI and just reminding us that this is animation at its finest. That was a big plus. The fact that it was such an innocent movie, the fact that it wasn't dealing with adult-related humor and very sophisticated humor. That's not something you normally find in a Disney animated film dating all the way back to 1938. Yeah, it's been a while since Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs has been released in theaters. The characters' voices are definitely not going to be the ones from the 1977 film that originally came out, but they play their roles well. The current voice of Winnie the Pooh, I have no idea if it's the same one, but it is so accurate. The same voices of Tigger and Eeyore, etc., etc. I just cannot stop thinking about how wonderful and awesome this movie was. Also, what made it ingenious was it gave new meaning to the meaning of wordplay. We all know in the movies of the past with Winnie the Pooh and the short films that they actually use the words of the book. They use them in this movie, but they use them to an extent that is just so clever and so original, something that I had never seen before, and I've seen the old Winnie the Pooh stuff. So that was fantastic. It just was a movie that in general brought us back to a simpler time. What did I not like about this movie? Well, I didn't like the fact that it was 60 minutes long. It was actually an hour and 9 minutes to be exact. And I mean, I know that this is a kids movie, and we all know that kids are kids. They're gonna not want to sit through a long movie like that. But at the same time, I mean, the first movie was a bunch of short stories rolled into one. You could have done the same with this new one because, I don't know, the fact that it only made $8 million in its first week of release, now granted that's because Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 just came out on the same weekend, and it only grossed $8 million. I mean, I don't even know if that's even going to give Disney the ability to want to even make a sequel. Because you could have just put a ton of individual Winnie the Pooh stories and made a second Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Also, the overuse of the songs. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the fact that they chose Zooey Deschanel to sing all the songs, and God knows how I felt when I heard the original Winnie the Pooh song in this movie. But I think they kind of used the songs a little too much, and it got to the point where certain points that were looking so great and had so much promise and proved a great point, they just trailed off because of the songs, and it kind of lost its meaning and its magic and its whim. But all in all, it was fun, it was adorable, it was Winnie the Pooh, and it is classic Disney animation at its finest. I'm going to give Winnie the Pooh a 3.5 out of 4. If you are a Disney purist like myself, my favorite Disney film dates back to 1940 with the original Fantasia. I'm not going to deny that is my favorite Disney movie. Just go see this movie if you love Disney movies and if you love Winnie the Pooh. Comment, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends. Now let me ask you the question. We're living in a world where they're using old two-dimensional animation, but also CGI. Which one do you think is better? I'm the Lawn Gnome, and remember that actions speak louder than words.